going to go on Cash in the Attic, and she sent loads of pictures of all the stuff that they had, including this one. But then my dad didn't want to go on because it's probably me. Is it stymied? I sort of put the boot in a little bit, didn't mean to, that I said, oh, they'll probably get some of it as job lots, which I meant not this bear, just certain things that might have been better as, you know, as lots. And I think then my dad didn't really want to go on it anymore. And then they tried to do a Zoom call. I wasn't here to help them, and they couldn't get the sound working. And it all went horribly wrong. But they've got lots of stuff. Hello, Philip. Lots of stuff, including this fine bear, which I think is a stiff. A stiff Faust bear with his little whole novel. This is the whole actual novel of Faust. There. Interesting. I don't think the bear... Oh, he made a noise. Yeah. I didn't know that. He made a noise. The fridge makes, the freezer, the new freezer that my parents have got also makes a noise. My dad said he was making the breakfast the other day for my mum. They make breakfast in bed for each other. And thought... It's a noise. And thought that the noise was my mum going, Bev, Bev, Bev. That's his name. And it wasn't. It was the freezer. He's making a noise now. What? I'm doing something. Come on. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's about. There's a wig in the background there. Anyway, yeah. So, they had other things. Look, they've got this. I don't know what sort of brand that is. It's a Team Zap. Team Zap bear. With very long legs for a bear. Very long legs indeed. And also, look at this. Flat Eric. We've got two Flat Erics. One still in the box and one played with and used. I think we went through a point where we got the toys. We got one to play with and one to leave in the box. But the boxes have got a little bit bedraggled and bent since then. But there's Flat Eric. Do you remember Flat Eric? Very big in the, I think the early 2000s, the late 90s, something like that, a long time ago. Also, this, look at that. He's a little bit shop soiled as well. His chef has got chocolate salty balls on his head, I think, probably, or maybe Salisbury steak. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's got stains all over him, and I don't think they're actually supposed to be there. But there's Chef, and who else have we got from South Park? Yay! La 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 la. Off they skip into the sunset. I don't think they ever had any scenes together. Abigail and Chef there. And who else? A bear! It's Harold Bear. I think that was from Channel Island toys. There must be a newspaper and the Channel Island. No clue what that is, but it's there. And oh look, a Spanish lady doll. Well, people used to go to Spain and come back with this sort of interesting souvenir. She's got little castanets there, and yeah, castanets and Spanish lady. What else is in this box? Nivea for men. That's not a toy. I don't know why that's in there. It's what's this? Ah, a toy from London. I don't think it's from Hamleys. Oh, I was going to say I don't know who got that, but it's from Hamleys. So somebody must have been to Hamleys and got that one. And some Beanie Babies. Look at this. And it's mostly got their tags still on them. Some of them haven't. That one hasn't. Some of them have and some of them haven't. Anyway, so we got loads of stuff like this, and done well, bear. Little bears and little Beanie Babies. There's a lot of Beanie Babies that haven't got their tags, so I'm not sure what's happened there. That possibly, because my parents have got grandchildren, that the grandchildren have played with them, and now, oh, that one's got a tag. That one's got a tag, and the tags have fallen off, so that's unfortunate, really. And there's a, what the earth is that? It's a, oh, look! I think that's a Punxsutawney Phil, isn't it? Punxsutawney Phil Beanie Baby. It is 2005. It's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. And oh look, the tag from one of them is there. I don't know who that is. The tag from something's fallen off. Punxsutawney Phil still got it on there. Groundhog Day. Yeah. And yeah, and various others. They've got a lot of, oh, look at that. I think that's one of the 101 Dalmatians. Anyway, that's some of several. That's like one box out of hundreds of boxes of toys of various different descriptions, Barbies and Disney toys and all sorts of stuff. And there's like an underbox bed there that's got them. This bed, it's got bears coming out of it. There's got some drawers underneath. Anyway, I won't get into that. So this week, I'm still in Wales, as you can see. Now, this doesn't show that I'm in Wales. I'm just saying this is my bedroom from a long time ago, and I'm staying in this for a little while, longer than I thought I was going to. I was supposed to go back last Monday, and I'm just like, I don't know. Hello, doctor. It's just like, I'm just like, ugh, because there's no reason anymore. I've got I do tutorials online. I could probably get some more of those, do some more stuff like that. But this week I've decided to start looking at the novels and writings that I've got. That I was looking on my computer, and there was 8 unfinished novels, plus a short story collection that I kept saying or threatening that I was going to release, and I never did. I was going to add some more short stories. I think there's probably 20 or something, and some of them were quite short, and I never finished it. So maybe I should just work on that for a while, and you know, life, you know, it's finite, and if not now, then when? I mean, obviously I'm going to have to find some money somewhere, but I mean, maybe I got a thing from YouTube, or maybe it's a tweet on my tweet line saying, oh, is this the year you're going to become a full-time content creator? I was like, probably not, because that's not worked out for me so far. It doesn't make a lot of money. Talking of which, buffering, am I still here? Back now. Talking of which, somebody that Britain's Got Talent in this country had Lauren Allred, who I think did the voice for the Never Enough song in the Greatest Showman. Now, I didn't know who she was. I thought that Rebecca Ferguson had done it. No idea. My Easter day was okay, thank you. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson, I thought, had done it because she got the credit, but apparently it was Lauren Allred, who was on Britain's Got Talent, and she's American, but you know that it's Britain. It's Got Talent in Britain, so you don't have to be British to be on Britain's Got Talent by any means. And there's been lots of people that aren't British that have got on it, and there's not a problem with that. So I've got no problem with that. But people are going, oh, she's already famous. It's like, well, I didn't know who she was. She's worth 600 million. It's like, I think a session singer that did a song that nobody knows who did. I mean, she's sung with Harry Connick Jr. or Andrea Bocelli or other people, but I still don't know who she is. And I would say that the vast majority of people don't know who she is. And I think it's highly unlikely that she's worth 600 million. There is one site that somebody pointed to when we were having this argument online that said that it says she's worth 3 million. But then I looked up 2 people that I know that are comedians that I know aren't massively rich, and one of them was apparently worth 9 million, and another one was worth 1 to 2 million pounds, and I'm like, I think that's highly unlikely. I know these people. I'm sure they'd be very pleased to hear that, but I don't think she's that. Exactly, everyone was unknown before they were known. It's like, yeah, I know who she is now because I saw her on Britain's Got Talent, because it was on in my parents' house and they watched that sort of stuff. I don't know whether I'd have watched it otherwise. I might have done. Nothing again, you know. Highbrow, lowbrow, medium brow, it's all a brow. I'm fine with any sort of brow. No brow even. Doesn't really bother me. I'm not really bothered, but I think that's fine. And also, on this Britain's Got Talent this week was Brian, Damage and Crystal. Now, I didn't see all of it, so I missed that. That was this week, and they are quite big on the London comedy circuit. They had a Pear-Shaped is their comedy, and I've actually done their online show. I have done their Edinburgh Pear-Shaped. I've never done their show in London because I'm a scaredy cat and I don't go out much. And I know them enough that I've done their show when it's been in Edinburgh, and I've done their online show. So Brian and Crystal are on it. So I know who they are. Does that make them famous? Maybe it does. A lot of people that have done comedy, anyone that's done comedy in London for the last 20 years, probably knows who Brian Damage and Crystal are. Does that make them famous? It makes them well known. But do you know who Brian and Crystal are? Possibly not. go and look them up. Go and look up their online pear-shaped in dystopia. It's like called, and I've done a few of those. There's a few of the videos from YouTube that have been shown in that, and I also did a sort of live bit in a few of them, and I made some specially for them. So go and look at that. So I'm sort of famous by default. If Rowan and Crystal are now famous, then I am now too famous to go on Britain's Got Talent, because by going on Britain's Got Talent, they've become well known, and now they're too well known to be on Britain's Got Talent. It doesn't make sense, does it? If you're not a household name, then you should go on it. I don't really see the problem if you can get through Simon Cowell, and I think Simon Cowell gave a not for Brian and Crystal, but everyone else said yes, please. So if you can get through Simon Cowell and his famous lack of appreciation for most talent, then good on you, really, and get to the end. I know lots of people that have got to the end. So, you know, I know people that have been finalists, like runners up in Britain's Got Talent. There's people, Philip, you will know him. He's and I've forgotten his name. That's how well known he is. But one of the runners up was, I ran a comedy club in London for many years. It was very low key, but he used to come most weeks to do some new material. The Robot Wars last week. Yeah, exactly. Everybody was, it's just, Robert White. See, I've gone blank. I now know who he is. Robert White was a finalist, a semi-finalist, a finalist. What's the name? Runner-up. And he, Lost Voice guy just pipped him to the post. But he got all the way to the end. I would guess that he's still not a household name, but he was, you know, if fame is by knowing somebody famous, you become famous, then I'm massively famous. But I very much doubt that I am famous. And I would if I did have something that I thought would go through on Britain's Got Talent, maybe I would audition. I don't think I would, because I know people that have been made horrible fools, whose acts are absolutely stupendous and go down so well live and have been humiliated by Britain's Got Talent. So I would probably think twice about it, really. Thank you very much. I hope you're well too. I would think twice about it, if not 3 times about it, even if I had something that I thought would go through and the production team assured me that they would love it. I would doubt that, really. And I've also had my experience of reality TV, I mean, I've said a few times, the very first comedy experience I had in terms of stand-up was auditioning for Jimmy Carr's Comedy Idol, which was not on TV, but was on his DVD. And I had to wait around all day, and it was getting worse and worse. And there was just like a couple of crystals and some bananas that we were getting fed. They were sort of on a table. We'd just go and get them. And by the end of the day, the 3 minutes of material we were allowed to do had been cut down by 2. And they had so many people that, I mean, it was alphabetical, and my surname is H. And I had to wait until very late in the day. And imagine how other people whose names are after H is quite early on in the alphabet, really. And I had to wait all day, and I was so fed up by the end of it. And I was just felt humiliated, and I wasn't too bad about it, because Jimmy Carr had laughed at one of my jokes and said that was really good. But then my mum said this before, my mum heard him on a radio show saying that he'd done this just to make fun of all the reality shows and make fun of the sort of people that auditioned for reality shows, and that he just got a load of idiots to come and audition for him. And although some people did get to, there was one person that did win the prize to support him on tour, and there was a few people that got through, the vast majority of people were just there to be humiliated. I mean, I know people that got quite far on that, so there was something in it. They've gone, you know, somebody that won Funny Women the year after got through to the end, I know. So it wasn't it wasn't a lie that he was going to get good comedians to support him, but it certainly was bending the truth that anyone had a chance, because I didn't have a chance. I'd even been doing comedy for a week. I don't even know how I managed to get into the room. It was stupid of me. But, you know, I got into the room, and Jimmy Carr said a few, maybe 10 gigs and then you'll be ready. I'm like, all right then, Jimmy Carr, I believe you. 10 gigs and then I'll be ready for the big time. It's like, that's not good advice. 10 gigs isn't going to get you ready for the big time. What on earth? Anyway, my point is, I do not begrudge anybody that isn't hugely famous and rich being on Britain's Got Talent. And even if they are, there's lots of people that had their chance and then have disappeared from the public eye. I think somebody pointed to a documentary about rock and pop stars who realised that they had a big career, and then about 30 years old they suddenly realised that nobody wanted to employ them anymore. 30's not old, but then it's like, yeah, no, you're not there anymore. And they've spent the last however many years going, well, I was famous once, what happened there? Now if they came back, that would be fine. Come back, it's fine. It's like, wow, you had a chance, now here's another chance. Infinite chances. I don't think you should get one chance. I think you should get as many chances as it takes. If it doesn't work, I think, I don't think anyone should go, well, that was my chance, that's it, I failed at my life. That's not fair, is it? Just keep going, fake it till you make it, get to the end. Anyway, the point is, this week I have been working on editing my novels, very much like Mr. Goethe here with his little, I'm going to be careful not to break this off, with his little Faust. Now, whether I can ever, but Faust, it's not original really. Dr. Faustus came before Faust, and it's a well-trod story. You can't go, Goethe, you shouldn't write about Faust, other people have written about it. No. Really, it's fine. So, no problem. Mr. Goethe shouldn't have gone, oh, well, no, I won't do that then. Somebody said Shakespeare, Cymbeline, apparently, by Shakespeare. Some evidence has come to light that he took that story from somewhere else. It's like, well, of course he took that story from somewhere else. Look, all of Shakespeare's plays are taken from somewhere else. I mean, so the history plays are based on supposedly kings and queens, but that's, made up mostly. And the ones that aren't history plays are almost all. Even Romeo and Juliet, there was another version of that. It's based on something from 1400s, based on a true story, and then other people wrote the story, and then Shakespeare went, that's a good story. Othello based on other stories. There's a lot of Decameron in his stories. There's a lot of, every single thing that he ever wrote is based on something else, and that's not a problem. It's what you do with it. It's what you do with it. It's what you do with it if you're on Britain's Got Talent or if you're on YouTube. I'm not doing an awful lot about it, really. I keep thinking, I will make more content. My mum's like, why don't you make some more funny videos, Elise? It's like, that's a good idea. But I'm just sitting there going, no, I can't. I'm just sort of dead inside. Metaphorically, not physically. I'm not actually, I'm not like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and I've been hollowed out and filled with a new alien or anything. Nothing like that. No, just a little bit sort of here. Anyway, I got a load of, look at this. I got a load of cards, index cards, and I was trying to track all different colours, trying to track the novels. I only got as far as nearly finishing tracking one, realising that there's a lot of exposition in it, realising that chapter 9 was about 5 times as long as any of the other chapters, sort of having to split it up. And then I was thinking, surely there's an easier, hello Andy, surely there's an easier way to do this. I'm sure I used to have some software on my computer. And that very day, as if they read my mind, I got an email from something called Papyrus software that I had downloaded ages and ages ago and forgotten about on an old computer, saying that if I've lost the software, there's an update available and I can download it. So I downloaded that today. So this morning I was working on going, oh look, no, like there's commas and everything, the punctuation's all over the place, because I used inverted commas that apparently I've used the wrong ones, that they're supposed to be smart ones. So they're all, every single one of them's got a little green line under them. I'm like, oh no, because I think I used several different softwares and it's changed it. And then it's also telling me to get rid of dashes. I was very fond of dashes for a very long time. If I was going to do some sub-clauses or any sort of clauses, that I would use a dash. I wouldn't use a comma. I wouldn't use an a conjunction or anything like that, I'd use a dash. So that's got to be very much. I tell you what, I realised this morning. Now I've been working in primary schools and secondary schools and everything for the last 2 or 3, 4 years, and a long dash, an M dash, and not the sort of dash that. It also said that I missed a lot of that because I was trying to at one point write NaNoWriMo and they didn't count my word processing didn't count them. If it was 2 words, a composite word, didn't count them as 2 words, so I just left them out. Now I have to put them back in. But the dashes, the M dashes, the ones that whichever the ones are the long ones, and I haven't done the long ones anyway. They are short because of the way that you can't really type it on my keyboard. You couldn't do a long one anyway. So they're the wrong dashes. They're just rubbish. They just shouldn't even be there. Yeah, M dashes. They shouldn't even be there. But they're actually not M dashes. The way that I've used them, they are the short dashes. So they're 1, the wrong sort of dash, and 2, in the wrong places. And like I said, I've been working in primary schools for the last 3 years. Really, from like year 2 or 3 upwards, as if I've been learning all the things that I missed the first time round. And I have got a degree. I've got a journalism qualification. I've got a teaching qualification. And yet, they didn't teach us grammar or punctuation properly. And so there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, yes, I've been doing that a bit wrong. It's not terribly wrong. I was writing for newspapers and magazines for ages, and nobody said anything then. But technically, some of it's not right. I should really go back to the drawing. So I'm just like working on that. So it's like, yeah, I've got now a proofreaders. I'm reading these things going, oh, I'm being surprised about the plot and everything, and have got a distance because like it's years since I worked on some of these things, 10 years in some cases, even longer. It's so long since I've worked on them that it's as if someone else had written them. And so I can look at them and go with a dispassionate eye, this is terrible. This is how you improve it. And hopefully do something about that. So maybe I can knock them to shame. Editing was one thing that I just like, oh, I don't want to even look at the stuff that I've written because it'll be so embarrassing. I just want it to go and somebody else can deal with it. I was hoping beyond hope that somebody would just go, yes, we'll publish it and this is how you change it, and I wouldn't have to think about that. But that's not how it works. That's not how it ever works, really. But saying that on Twitter, I immediately got a glut of people that want to charge me to edit my book. I haven't really got the money to pay them. It's like nice, and I'm glad that you've got a business model and that you're sending me loads of private messages, and I'm not angry at it. I just can't really give you the money, so thank you, but no, I can't do that at the moment. But I'm going to maybe hopefully do that, try and do it myself. And so that's my plans, and try and make some money so that I don't starve. But I have been looking for properties and things, cheap properties, and they're all in France. Like you can get an 8-room house, needs a lot of refurbishment, for £26,000 in the south of France, and it's like, ooh. But you can't really go, not with the Brexity sort of cut off. I couldn't really go and live there, and I'd probably have to spend a lot of money, and I haven't actually got £26,000. But £26,000 is more doable, a lot more doable than the nearest around here. There was one for £49,000. I was like, ooh. But that's like half a house that somebody started to build and then gave up. And I think it might need a lot of work, really. So I don't think I'm going to buy that. And or you've got like a postage stamp plot of land for £2 million. It's just like it's not doable in this country, but it is doable in continental Europe. But we can't go to continental Europe now to do that. It's like just when I'm thinking of maybe doing that, I can't do that. But if I could make lots of money, or by doing my novels and my creative YouTube videos and making money from that, which isn't going to happen, but it could. But I did hear that positive thinking is not as destructive, which I've always said. When people go positive thinking, that will make it, yes, just manifest it. It's negative, it's toxic, because that just makes you feel bad when it doesn't happen. It's not helpful. Positive thinking is not helpful. I mean, positive. Really, the last couple of years, you know that it's not really. It's not something you want, is it? No, it's the opposite of what you want. So I'm just gonna be realistic. And I've always been a pragmatic and realistic person. Even though everyone's like, your feet on the ground, your feet aren't on the ground, you're up in the air, you're not rooted properly, you're just ridiculous. It's just like, what? Earlier on, I had an argument with my dad because of a DVD player that I got a DVD that does not work because it's a DVD-R. It does not work on anything, and it's also all. So it's just a shame because it's me and my nephew from 2006. And I'm like, oh no, I wanted to see it. We put it in a Blu-ray player that's got set up. It didn't work. And then my dad put another one. He put his thumb on it. I said, don't put your thumb on it. You're just going to cause problems. Don't put your thumb on it. And he started shouting and swearing at me. And I was like, oh, and I got really upset. And then he said, oh, yeah, swearing, you're a woman. I'm like, I'm not. And I'm like, yeah. And it's just like, oh, don't get angry at me. And it was really, really stressful. He apologized to me, which is a win, I suppose. But I'm just like, oh, don't like go, oh, this is the gender you are. And therefore I'm going to blame you for everything straight away and not listen to you, which is what my dad is like. Especially when it's just like, oh, I hate that. I hate that so much on so many different levels. It was really annoying. And he did apologise to me. And I said, when he came up, if you've got a problem with me, that's fine. Don't say everybody of particular type is just have a problem with me. Take people on an individual level and have a problem with that person. Not because of who you think they are, what group of people they seem to be in, or you think they're in, or you have put them in, or even that they say they're in. Not any of that. Have a problem with the people on an individual level. You can hate everybody. That's fine, as long as you hate them on an individual level, not because of who you think they are or who they say they are, but because who they actually are, and just them, and not blaming anyone else, not bringing anyone else into it. Not like, I'm not going to listen to you about the thumbprint because I've decided that I do not listen to female people. Ugh! Very annoying. Anyway, I think we've got over that now. It's very stressful at home, I've got to say. It's very stressful when you're living with your parents, when you're all grown up. Which I knew because I came back to live with them after college, and it was stressful then for a year or two before I decided to go as far away as possible. And now it looks like I'm not back permanently. But I'm back for more weeks than I thought I was going to. And then I'll probably come back in the summer too, so I'm going to have to get used to this. They say they love having me here, and I love them. Oh, I'm back again. It's buffering again. It's not buffering again. It's just cutting out. It was just reacting to me. It was so stressed at me being stressed that it cut out. Anyway, I'll probably leave that here because it looks like the internet is going, yes, I'm back. Can you see me? It was just... Oh, so on that note, I don't know how far into the rant that was, but if you would like to see me do more comedy videos, or I was hoping to do some travel videos, but then my dad's car, his brakes failed and he doesn't have another car. He's decided, I think, that he's not going to get another car, so there's no way that I can go anywhere, really. I was relying on that. That's why you shouldn't rely on other people. Rely on yourself, and then you'll realise that you can't do anything without other people, and you may as well just forget it. Anyway, see? Positive thinking doesn't help, really, does it? Oh, I have this guitar here. I didn't use my guitar at all this week. Oh, never mind. Yes, I did. I think it needs tuning. It definitely needs tuning, because I haven't tuned it for a week. I haven't tuned it. Yes, I need to tune it. Okay, I've got to dash too. Thank you, Philip. Bye-bye. You have a nice time, and everybody have a nice time. I will see you soon, and I will try and get some videos. But I keep saying that, and it doesn't happen, does it? So, it might. Bye-bye.